Good morning, boys and girls, moms and dads, everybody in Viewerland. Happy Garbage Generator Monday. Got the Champion Dual Fuel Generator shirt on. But a little tech tip today out of the ordinary. On the Generac, or on the Champion Dual Fuel, you're supposed to clean the spark arrestor. So they come with these Finkelstein screws that are super tight that you can't even bust loose. So I got two of them loose and the other one stripped out because it's a flathead screw. And that just messed everything up and I had to use an extractor. So I didn't put one of these junky bolts back in. What I recommend is that you go get the hex head that you can put in and out with a socket. These are metric M5 times, hold on, I wrote it down, times 10. So M5 times 10 is the bolt that you need. And these are just a little bit longer, but not much, but they do go right in, and I'll show you where we put those in. We put those in right here. See where the bolts are, the three? So I had to take this whole shroud all the way off, this whole cover, and then I had to put those bolts in, and then I put the shroud back on. So that's what you do to avoid that problem with the screw heads. So, okay, let's go around to the front of the generator and we'll give it a start. But you're supposed to clean the spark arrestor when it gets a little dirty so it allows for flow of the exhaust. If it gets restricted, it'll hamper your running of the generator. So today we're going to turn it on. Full choke, it's gassed up with regular gasoline. And it's off and running. You let it run for a minute. Then you plug it in. Plug it in an appliance so it makes something loose. You'll notice we got it on the board so that it runs the paint dry. We only put about a quart of gasoline in it so it'll run dry. So we want the tank to run dry so we don't have stale gas. And then we run the carburetor dry so that it's not stored with gasoline in the carburetor and going bad. But running it weekly too is a good thing. Not everybody will do it every week, but it's a good idea to do it every week if you can. But if you only can do it at a minimum of 1 or 2 times a month every 2 weeks would be a minimum. But I like to run them every week just so I know that they're going to work for you. So let's go over by the Generac now. It's going to be like almost 70 here today, so that'll be nice. Got the grass growing, some new grass. Don't forget to put in a whole house surge protector, and it also dumps EMP, electronic magnet pulse. So this is good for both of those, and it was $180 to have it installed and put in when they did the Generac. So in here we have, as you know, we can undo the screw here, and then we have the switch to simulate a power failure, and it runs the house, and we let the house run for 45 minutes to an hour. We've done that in other videos, and that way the Generac doesn't just start and run the motor. It actually gets to produce power like we do with the Champion Dual Fuel. They like to make some power, but they need to distribute that power so that they can get used to running. So that's what we have here. I have the meter. Always keep these clear in the winter. I cut a path in here with the snow blower, so I always have access to all this in an emergency situation. So you always want to keep your stuff clear. Got to cut the grass today and let it go for the new seed to come up. But as you can see, the Generac Guardian 24 kW is here. We have the green light on. And they also came out with a new app, an updated app Generac did. So for the mobile link app, it's updated on it. If you haven't updated yours, please update that because it's a lot better now. It's more better. Also, we want to give a special shout out to Mike Stafford, my brother-in-law, and Alex, because I understand they're watching too. And Mike's been a fan of the channel for a while, but I wanted to give him a shout out today too. So, Shoki, Marty, Tanya Harding, Don Johnson, everybody else out there. We're gonna
Harnish.
Uncle Harnish. Oh my God!
Oh my
He's
God!
The reason we do these, because I started these videos. I used to run them at 7 in the morning at the townhomes when I lived with Uncle Harnish, and he was sleeping in, and he could hear.
We knew he'd miss you.
He could hear it down the street. So then I moved it to 8 o'clock.
We're always the noisiest neighbors on the planet.
It was 8 o'clock, and I always ran my portables in the alley at 8 a.m. So that's how I did that. But now we got this one that starts automatic.
And it would echo down
runs on natural
the alley.
Gas. We sit in the house and we notice that the power flickers. That's because the power company failed and the Generac came through. So you got to take care of these. You got to make sure that the battery's charged. You got to keep it clean. You got to keep the battery terminals clean. You got to make sure the oil level is proper. So you got to open it up and do a little homework on them sometimes. A little care, you know, it's like your vehicle. If you don't take care of it, it's not going to take care of you. So you want to make sure that you maintain it a little bit, even though I have the dealer doing this stuff. And it's built in with the sensors to let you know if it's low on oil, it'll be a red light, and it'll kill itself and it won't run, so it won't damage itself. So it senses low oil, it shuts down, gives you a red light. And it'll tell you what the problem is when you open it up on the circuit board there. But you gotta take care of it and try and prevent those things. So check your oil, because they're not liquid cooled, they're air cooled motors, and they burn a little oil or get rid of a little oil. And that's true on your Champion dual fuels too. When you run 10W30 in those, when it's 80, 90 degrees, those will be going through the oil also. The Generac, we run 5W30 in it, full synthetic, since we have the heating pad for the battery and the oil warmer system. So we run 5W30 in the Generac. I keep 2 spare oil filters, and I got enough oil to do it. And both generators, you change it 50 hours. My Champion dual fuel never makes 50 hours. I do it twice a year. And I use...
Did you mention Marty and Chuck?
Marty, I did mention, and young Chuck LaFavor. He was up here too. So, see, we got so many viewers, we almost can't name them all. That's great. So glad everybody enjoys the videos. And
Mr. Pascola.
Huh?
And Mr. Pascola.
I don't think Lizard Lips watches him. He's not in on it.
Oh.
But he's here in mind. But we have the Generac that's going to fire up. I keep the spark plugs, a spare air filter on hand, because if it fails on me, the dealer might not be here for a day. So then you're without power, and you have this great unit, and it needs an air filter and an oil change or spark plugs. So I keep those in stock. I count on myself. I let the dealer do the maintenance for the warranty. It has the 10-year warranty, so let the dealer do the maintenance. That way it's all logged in that it was done by the dealer. So it should be starting now in a minute. So let's have a moment of silence for people that listen to their food spoil in the refrigerator and sit in the dark. Okay, so we're back. We're waiting for the Generac to start.
Oh, I never hit pause.
Huh?
We just took a moment of silence. I didn't hit pause.
No, you didn't have to.
Oh.
It was a moment of silence. So, Don Johnson's runs on LP, propane. So, these can run on propane or LP. And the amount of fuel they burn is like 3 gallons an hour. 3 gallons an hour is what they burn on the LP, I think, under load. So
Oh, I don't.
just plan for that to make sure you always have enough propane, Don Johnson. But Don Johnson also has a Champion dual fuel, and he's ready to go with his alternate system. It's important that when you have an alternate backup system, a Plan C Habla, that you don't just backfeed into a 220 outlet and down the power lines, because you could hurt or kill an electric worker, or if they charge the electric, blow up your generator and have a problem with your house.
I am a propane tank. I don't know that.
Like 2.5 in those little tanks, but you don't run the Generac off the propane tanks like that. You run them off the big ones in your yard.
Oh.
So you don't want to backfeed and kill a power worker or have your generator blow up because you were doing that. You want to have an interlock that turns off the power main coming into your building, and then it lets you flip that breaker to allow you to backfeed, because now it's not going out of the house, it's staying within the house. So you can backfeed that way, or you can have a transfer switch like I do. I have the Generac transfer switch in the basement. And we'll do a drill with that now that the weather's getting better. But you want to let your power stay in your building and not down the lines hurting or killing somebody else, or backfeeding and blowing up your generator. So make sure you do that proper, legal. Don Johnson knows about it. And then when he had his Generac installed, they were going to disconnect the system. And Don said, no, that's Plan C, because if the Generac fails, I can plug in and I can still do that. And the guys were kind of shocked to hear that. They go, that's a great idea. My electricians, when they came to put the Generac in, and I had them put the transfer switch in, here we go, she's starting up. They told me that most people have those systems taken out, that it's actually smart to keep them, because this is mechanical, electronic, and something could fail possibly. So you still want to have a backup to the backup. So don't remove those other systems if you have them in place when you do your generator. So thanks for tuning in on Happy Generator Monday, Garbage Monday, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, I got like 5 questions.